Hey there, today I'm showing you some more watercolor sketchbook ideas. For the first one, I put down some washi tape and I really love this one. It's so shiny and it has flowers all over it. I just love it. And then I mixed a dark blue tone with my new White Nights paints. I did a review of those in my last video, so check that out if you're interested in that. And then I just painted the whole thing and went over it again and again to get those different shapes and patterns with water, with dark paint, just everything over and over until I was satisfied with the outcome. I just played around with that. And then I let this page dry because that took a while. And I moved on to the other page and I got inspired by my string of pearls. Those are plants that are super easy to kill, especially in soil, but I've seen that they kind of thrive in water, which makes no sense because I think that those are succulents, but they've been surviving for a while now in water, so I guess I'll keep them there. And you can see here that I did just a lot of circles in different colors. I picked blue and green tones for that, just to keep everything so that everything would go together nicely. And some of the circles are touching, others are not. If you do something like that that's organic, like a plant or something like that, just make sure that you don't spread them out, those circles, too evenly, because then it wouldn't look as organic, because in nature most things aren't super symmetric and in a very strict order or anything like that. So just make sure to spread them out quite messily, and I really didn't mind that they were touching at some points. And then I moved on to the piece on the right because it was dry by that point. And with my white gel pen, I made a circle. I just used some round objects and another circle here. And this is just a moon. That's the center of the pattern that I'm going to do. So I used white gouache for that. You could also use acrylic paint, Chinese white, just anything that's white, or a Posca pen, just anything that's opaque and white to fill in that shape. I didn't want to do the whole thing with my gel pen because that would have taken forever and it would probably run out at some point. And then I moved on to the gel pen again and I did some fun patterns around it. I just wanted it to look like something that's magical and has to do with star signs or witchcraft or anything in that area. I don't know what it really is, but I found things like that on Pinterest, mostly as tattoo designs, because people seem to like those, or those geometric shapes. They look really cool as tattoos, and I just thought that it would look really cool in front of a darker background. And so I decided to do that here, and I think that it looks really cool. I kind of wish that I would have had more space on the left and right, because it's kind of, I don't know, it irritates me a little bit that the things on the right and left, I don't know what to call them, those triangles, that they are cut off. But other than that, I think that it looks really cute. And I also added in a few star signs and stars and stuff like that. And then I also did a few circles on the piece on the left, because I thought that it could use a little bit more detail here. And I'm not sure if I like it more with or without it. I don't know, but I added those to every single circle, and yeah, this took quite a while, so it's super sped up here. I don't know, I kind of like it and I also kind of don't. I'm not sure about that. Maybe I'll do it again without it at some point. And then I removed the tape on the right piece, and this looks so satisfying as always. Just make sure that you remove it very, very gently, not to rip the paper too much. Sometimes it happens, but be careful. So here are the two finished pages, and we can move on to the next one. And this one seems super random, but someone on Instagram asked me if I wanted to do a Instagram collab with them, and one of the suggestions of the themes was door, and I thought that this was a really cool idea. I wanted to paint a door for some reason, and then I did, and we did the collab. You can check it out on my Instagram account. And yeah, I just thought that I would do a magical door. Somehow I really felt inspired to do magical things. Maybe it's because my girlfriend and I have been watching She-Ra a lot, and I've been so inspired by all the magical stuff. And then I thought that I would paint a door that's in a tree, and I imagine that when you enter the door, you'll be in another universe or something like that. So I had a lot of fun with this one, and it's really dark. It turned out really dark in the end because the white night paints are super pigmented, and I just went all in and used a lot of color for that one. But I'm really pleased with the result because it looks like a magical forest or something, and I really, really like it. I tried to make the leaves and all the greenery loose, and then I added in a lot of details to the door. So if you decide to do this idea, I'd love to see if you can come up with some other kinds of doors. Maybe you can create your own magical door inside a tree, or maybe you can paint any other kind of door. I would love to see that, what you come up with. Just tag me on Instagram. Just make sure that you tag me on the picture, not just in the description box, not just in the description of the post, because then I probably won't see it because of the way the notifications on Instagram work, and I probably will miss it. But if you tag me on the picture, then I will see it for sure, and I'd love to see your creations and repost them. So tag me on there. I'd love to see what you can come up with. If you do any of those ideas, or just any ideas that I show in any of my videos, I always love to see what you guys come up with. You're so creative and you do so many awesome things. I'm always so impressed by everything that you guys create. So here are more and more details. I also added in some pen details to make it even more, I don't know, to make the flowers stand out a little bit more. And then I just added in more and more shading. I just went over it again and again, decided that the stairs were still too bright, so I dimmed them a little bit. Then I decided that it was a little bit too dark, and I went over it with a tissue, and I really like how they look now, so it's fine. And added in a little bit of shading to the door, and it's almost done now, just the finishing touches. And yeah, I had so much fun with this idea, and it's kind of random to do a door, but I think it's a fun idea. So here's the finished page of this one. And the next idea is to just use any random objects that you find in nature. I chose flowers, of course. So you can choose flowers or anything that you can find. Maybe you can find shells or I don't know, sticks or anything like that. So just natural things, and paint those very loosely. Maybe set yourself a time limit. I decided to go very, very loosely here, as fast as I possibly could. Not too many details, just practicing here and using lots of water with my paint. And I just did spring flowers because I'm obsessed with flowers and can't stop painting them. But I think that setting yourself a time limit for watercolor can really help you to loosen up, so that you don't have to think about it so much, because if you don't have a lot of time, you really can't think about it too much. So this was really fun, and I did one flower that I didn't have a reference for, because someone asked me to paint a tulip and I just looked it up and painted it there. So I didn't have one of these, but all of the other ones were flowers that I found. And I think that I could even add a little bit more details to those. I'm currently thinking about buying an iPad and maybe scanning in the paintings and adding in more details, but iPads are super expensive, so I'm really thinking very hard about this to make a good decision here. If you know anything about iPads, let me know. I've tried it once and drawing on it was really, really fun. So I think I might do that in the future at some point. So these are the finished pages. That was our last page spread. I really hope that you liked this video, and if you did so, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel.
Lost again, going back around, dreaming of a time when I get things right. Lost in the shadows of a